Hey, what's up guys? My name is Matt. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 fragrances I think every guy should own. Let's get into the video. So why should every guy own fragrances? For me, I was always growing up that if you want to be looking good, you want to be smelling good, and you want to be feeling good. I feel like number 1 is how you dress, how you're looking, your hair, your face, all of that important. And number 2 is always smelling good, which I feel like is very understated. A lot of guys will just put on their deodorant, call it a day. But let's be real, do you really want to be smelling like Old Spice, Dove? Oh, please no to this one. Axe? No, you don't want to be smelling like any of those. I feel like when a lot of guys think of fragrances, they're thinking of those. When in reality, these are oils, they are made to smell a certain way. I mean, those are made to smell a certain way too, but you get what I mean. So these are some of my favorites. I have a bunch of different brands, some more basic ones that a lot of people recommend in the fragrance community, and just ones that I think would go really well. Now note, this video is not sponsored, but I have bought a lot of my fragrances either in store or on fragrancenet.com. It's usually where you can find good deals. Should ignore the 30% off because always 30% off, but sometimes you can find up to like 37% sometimes. So look out for those codes if you ever get them, because it'll probably be the cheapest you'll be able to get it. So let's start off with my number 1, which is Bleu de Chanel. Now this one's the Eau de Toilette version. EDT is what you'll see a lot, and this one is just a very basic scent. One of my favorite things about it, which might be super small, but it has a magnetic lid, so you'll see it'll just like magnetize the place. Super freaking cool. It is expensive at around $90, but this is a big one. I got the Eau de Toilette because I heard it's around the same longevity of it. I mean, it should last around 4 to 5 hours. I think it's a perfect scent if you don't know what to wear. It just goes with almost everything, winter, summer. Very basic scent. You might smell other guys wearing it, but honestly, to be real, there's not that many guys that will wear fragrances all the time. So you still might be the best smelling guy in the room, and if there's another guy in the room with it, it still might smell a little bit different just because they're different body chemistry. So this is my first one on the list, Bleu de Chanel. Probably one of the most recommended fragrances. Now to keep going with super recommended fragrances, let's go to Dior Sauvage, or Sauvage, something like that. Again, this one has a magnetic lid. Now this one has more of a peppery scent. I'd say it's more of a nighttime scent than it would be a daytime scent, but you can wear it all day long. This longevity of this one is super duper long. The only problem is I just feel like it never really changes its scent. You'll notice with a few other scents that I name here, it'll start off a certain way on your body, but then through the day it'll kind of change its scent profile. So sometimes you might have to be closer, it's called sillage, that you have to be closer to the person to smell it. And I think it's just like it develops a different scent and almost like an experience with it. This one, if you want to be smelling the same literally all day long, if you're going to the gym, if you're sweating, if you're hot, you're cold, it's literally going to smell the same. I would get Sauvage. This is the Eau de Parfum one. I think this one smells fantastic. I thought it smelled a little bit better than the Eau de Toilette version, and I heard it lasts a bit longer for the Parfum version. So I went with that one. But you really can't go wrong with either these two. These are probably some of the most recommended fragrances in the community. They're very basic. Any guy can wear it. If you're a girlfriend looking to buy your boyfriend or husband or fiance a fragrance, one of these two would be a super safe bet. Now, to kind of throw it off a little bit, one of my personal fragrances right now that's literally like my number 1 for me personally is the Atelier Cologne Cedar Atlas, or Cedre Atlas. I don't know. Now, unlike the other two, this one doesn't have a magnetic lid. It is a manual lid. I think that they're one of the most underrated fragrance brands. This one I wear all the time. It's gotten me compliments. It's not super out there, but it still has a unique scent to it versus like a Bleu de Chanel that you might smell all the time. This one's a lot more unique in the sense of you're just not going to smell it on people. I don't really know how to explain the scent profile in this one, besides just like almost like a mature Bleu de Chanel in that sense. I think it's a very good office fragrance. People will definitely smell it on you. It's not like a clean fragrance. It definitely has a little bit of citrusy to it, but overall I love it. This is my number 1 fragrance in my whole collection. Honestly, for me, it can't be beat right now. Now another one from Atelier Cologne, or Atelier Cologne, I think it's Atelier, is Cedra Environt. This fragrance is a lot more citrusy, a lot more of a summer fragrance than the Atlas one would be. This one, you can almost just tell by the bottle. This one's gonna be darker. This one's gonna be a lot lighter on your body. This one would be very good for summer. This one, probably a little bit better for fall, honestly. But yeah, honestly, this is one of my like favorite fragrance brands. You can find a Traveler's sampler set if you want to try a bunch of them out. I'd recommend going that route because then you get a bunch of different ones. I even have these 2 small vials, which is why I'm using this one up before I go through my big vial. And then the Clementine California, which literally smells like oranges. It's fantastic. Everybody who smelt it loves it. It is definitely a really good fragrance, and I think if you haven't found this brand yet, I would go for it. It's probably one of my most underrated brands. I don't see talked about nearly enough, but they really nail citrus-y scents super duper well. It's fantastic. It's so good and a unisex fragrance that your fiance, girlfriend, or wife might even fall in love with it too and wear it herself. So you might want to be careful about that because they are a unisex fragrance. I mean, all fragrances are unisex, but these ones are more of that like meant to be going either way. Now, I guess for my 5th on this list would be another Chanel one. This is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme, or Aussie as you'll see online. This one's a lot more vanilla-y. I think it's definitely one that you want to try out on body and not just smell it from the jar. Like, a lot of people will just take this, you'll spray it on the piece of paper and you'll smell it and you'll be like, that's all right, and you'll end up going with a Bleu de Chanel, which are both fantastic fragrances, but this one I almost felt was so much better when it came to just longevity, when it came to just how it smelled and over time, and like almost like the different like adventure that you'd have taking this fragrance. Now, the only downside to this bottle personally for me is the fact that you can't see how much is inside of it, but it's real. You'll probably be able to tell by the end of it, and you'll know how much you're using based off other bottles you have. But definitely is an issue that people have with this one in particular. But I honestly love the way that this looks. The silver metallic, it just looks so much different than like this. I like this one a little bit more than this. The only downside of this one is it doesn't have a magnetic lid, but it has a red Chanel logo, so that's a plus in my book. And I said 5, but I thought I'd bring it back to the one that brought me into the fragrance game a little bit, was L'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Someone's probably like mad at me for the way I pronounce it, or whatever. So I found this one for a big bottle for like $60. This one is fantastic. The L'Homme Sport is fantastic as a fragrance. I think if you're new to the fragrance game, you're gonna love just the character profile. It's something that is very classic smelling, and it doesn't last super long, so that's one thing to note about a lot of the YSL fragrances. I feel like not a lot of them last a super long time, but just something worth noting. This is also, I believe, an eau de toilette. One of my fragrances that I'm in love with but I haven't purchased yet is the YSL Ultime. It's honestly super good. I'd go to the store and try it out if you haven't. And one thing to note, if you're getting fragrances, I'd avoid places like Scentbird. I think it's been proven multiple times that you can get better deals elsewhere, or if you just go to Sephora and get a sample yourself, way cheaper than if you did it online. But if you value that convenience of trying to find stuff online, you can do it. They have some fragrances like a Tom Ford one that might make it worth it, but a lot of these fragrances you can find at your Sephora, and you can just try out a bottle there. And by bottle, I mean you can basically spray it into these small little vials, and then you can have this little sprayer, and then, or as they call it, atomizer, and then you can have that and test it out on your own skin on a day-to-day basis just to see if you like it. And if you like it, then you just buy a bottle and you have that fragrance. Whether you want 5 or 10 or however many you want in the fragrance game, there is no wrong answer. That you can have the one fragrance that you wear. You can have the one fragrance that you wear all the time and that's it, or you can have a bunch of them like me and be able to rotate them so you're not just smelling like one scent all the time, to where people kind of lose that luster of you smelling really good. I think changing it up also helps with your nose to make sure you're not wearing too much fragrance. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have a favorite fragrance, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. I'm always interested to try new ones. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more videos like this. If you liked what you saw, please leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.